I appreciate Chairman Durbin and Ranking Member Grassley for having this hearing today, and I'm proud to be here for this important hearing, Strengthening the Violence Against Women Act, or VAWA. I'd like to begin by thanking all of the people that work in this area across our country. This is tough work. It's so important, and I want to make sure that, and thanking our survivors for their ability to fight back against the scourge. Ending domestic violence and other VAWA-related crimes has been a priority of mine since I became a senator, but also as a congresswoman. As a matter of fact, the first time I ever came over to the Senate was to join with then Senator Biden to celebrate one of the reauthorizations in the early 2000s. I've also previously served as the chairman of the board of a local organization that worked to combat domestic violence. That's the YWCA in Charleston, West Virginia. But this work would not be possible without the funding and support that VAWA provides, and why it's critical that this bill be reauthorized. I was told by a leader in West Virginia that these funds are a lifeline to their work. As a member of the Appropriations Committee, I'm proud that we've consistently championed and in many cases increased the amount of money available for services for survivors of domestic and sexual violence in a bipartisan fashion. Now that the Office of Violence Against Women has announced the most recent round of grant funding, I am a bit concerned about how the Department of Justice is allocating some resources. Senator Ernst alluded to this a bit. Specifically, my state of West Virginia, while we have great challenges, we are accorded, I want to make sure we're accorded sufficient priority under existing statutory funding. As the only state that lost population, the population-based metrics are not helpful to meet those demands. One of my concerns that VAWA formulas may require updating to better reflect the needs of our nation's rural populations. I'm also concerned about the plight of service providers that are struggling to recover economically post-COVID. They need our help now more than ever. I urge the Department of Justice to update, to the maximum extent possible, its allocation methods to better reflect the needs of rural and remote areas, where many victims have unique challenges to reporting these crimes and seeking assistance. VAWA reauthorization has historically been a bipartisan effort, as it been discussed today, and I'm happy to see many of my colleagues present with us today, demonstrating that willingness to work together to get survivors of domestic violence the resources they need. We can pass this bill, which encompasses the provisions on which already there is widespread bipartisan consensus. Doing so would not end our conversation or our work on behalf of victims and survivors, because we know there are things we must continually improve to meet the needs and challenges. I would also like to thank Senators Feinstein and Ernst for their dedicated movement to get this passed. For example, a few years ago, human trafficking was not a great concern in my state, but sadly, now it is. In addition to the challenges presented by COVID, we continue to be overwhelmed by the impact of an opioid epidemic. We are all here today with a shared goal, because I've heard from individuals and organizations that need our help. We can provide that help. I'm ready to work together during Domestic Violence Awareness Month and beyond to see this goal accomplished, so that we can continue to empower victims, support our survivors, and protect families in every single one of our states. Thank you.